So, like I said, when they were little kids, all your attention is focused on them. You anything you do centers around them, and then so I was trying to bring an example when there is like say something that both of us have to attend, maybe funeral, a birthday, or whatever. One person needs to stay.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the mother has that instinct.
To stay.
I will stay,
Yeah.
right? The father has to go out there and do what is necessary for, for the family, right? So, and then as they started growing, okay, it's possible we can leave them home on their own and we go out there and do what we have to do. But honestly, while you are out there, it doesn't
Stop.
Doesn't
change the
change
fact
anything,
that
Yeah.
there are people back home that clouds your whole
You're still
thinking.
worried.
Everything that you do out there is about, let me
Your
do
children,
fast
yeah.
and go back home and meet them,
Yeah.
right? At this stage of their lives, one is an adult already, the other two are teenagers. There is a different worry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't go
doesn't
away.
It's
go
never
away.
Yeah,
ending.
it never ends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even though it's something that we always bring in, like the challenges, but with that selfless love in
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you feel fulfilled
It's worth
that
it.
you are doing this for another human being, right? You
True.
want to, like, it's a happy
Yeah,
feeling.
happy feeling.
That's all I can say. It's just that happy feeling that you have this. I can tell you, wherever a mother is,
Yeah.
they like talking about their kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
True.
like talk about now you started crawling. Oh, he's
Yeah.
still there.
I know,
That-
yeah, all the
You
milestones.
always want to say something about them because it's in you.
Yeah.
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 Which is different from what the world is telling people now, especially young girls who don't have children. Me, 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 me.
Mhm.
The culture of me, self-centeredness. Like,
Yeah.
You can't be self-centered if you have
No,
kids.
if
I
you
don't-
have
I don't
kids,
think it's
you-
possible.
Yeah.
I think that's the first when you decide to have kids, just know
You
it's no
take
longer
that out,
about you. You
right.
take that
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
You're some people still succeed in like putting themselves first, but you know your priorities. Just knowing your priorities is like it's no longer about you 1st.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want to say it's no longer about you completely because you always have to take care of yourself,
Yeah.
but it's no longer about you first. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to talk a little bit about cultures and traditions and values. Are there? Would you say that your culture and your background impact or affect how you see motherhood or how you treat it, or how the society treats it, for example? Because again,
That is-
I know that you've been a mom
Yeah.
back in South. You grew up in Cameroon, right?
I
And
grew-
you've been a mom in South Africa.
Yeah.
You're a mom here in Canada.
Exactly.
Can you make any real distinctions about how that?
Yeah. I would say, okay, growing up in Cameroon, I saw motherhood differently.
Yeah.
yeah.
We bring up our kids differently. In South Africa and Canada, I would say South Africa is somewhere in the middle. So culture, well, the society,
Yeah.
your culture, it impacts the way you bring
Yeah.
up your children,
children,
right? Back in Cameroon, we believe in the whip is the best discipline
correct the children.
discipline master. And then in South Africa, the society is different. They can do it, but you have to do it
Yeah.
with care. Because I
Right.
remember my kids were being smacked at daycare.
Oh,
So
boy.
I believe it's different. Here, it cannot happen. So there is a lot that the society brings in raising up your child. Wherever you are, you need to adapt to what that particular society brings into play, while at the same time what you bring from your own culture, if you think this is a
Valuable.
positive
Yeah.
thing that you need to inculcate in your own children, the best thing is do it.
Yeah.
And damn the consequences. Exactly. If you know it's
You
going
heard that
to
on the
put
show,
a
damn the consequences.
positive impact on your child, just do
Yeah.
it. Right.
she said something as a first time mom. I think you can actually help me because you said something about adapting, right? So I'd like to know, because when I look at kids and raising a son and like the idea of like spanking, and would, how do you instill that discipline in your child? Like, do you completely eradicate the idea of spanking?
I
From your
don't.
child?
I didn't eradicate it. I used it. Yeah.
Because I would
so
think that it's hard.
Yeah.
I've seen toddlers, like you talk to them,
they just
Very
look at you.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Very disrespectful.
Yeah.
they look at you, and I'm looking at my son, and I'm saying that if you do this to me, I don't know if just talking, because they're kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
They don't really understand like when you
No.
communicate.
yeah,
And a little bit of actions. I know maybe if you tell them that this is why I'm doing this, but
exactly. So there
yeah,
are different stages, right? At that young age, when they can easily grasp what you are trying to teach them.
okay.
I use the spank.
Yeah.
I did. And then as they start growing, where when you talk, they understand
Yeah.
you.
Right.
I know my kids cannot remember that I did that to them, but
Yeah.
I used it.
Yeah.
And at different stages,
And you
of-
help them.
It helped them. And then when they started growing, what I do is I put them down and I talk to
The
them.
conscience.
Yeah,
of your
I
mom.
now
Isn't that a
and now
word?
I use their psychology
Yeah.
to get
To
to
get
get
them,
to
yeah.
them. And when you hit a kid and the kid is wailing and crying, let them cry. Once they are calm, bring
Bring
them
them
to
back,
yourself
yeah.
and
Have a
tell
conversation.
them why you did that to them. They should understand that that is the reason. I don't mind it if the you are a social
So-
worker. So
What I was going to get at is this:
Okay.
that any form of corporal punishment or physical discipline is discouraged completely. Any form.
Spanking is not allowed in Canada?
Again, what the language I'm saying, it is discouraged.
Discouraged. Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Not-
great.
Any form of social discipline of corporal punishment or physical discipline completely discouraged. However, there's law that tells that it allows for spanking, but there are parameters to which you can do that. But again, like I said, and I would insist, even though the law allows you to do it, I would discourage you from doing it, right? Because it brings along other complications that you don't want to deal with.
with the law.
with other aspects of the law, right?
Okay.
Because I am a social worker, right? So if I get a call, again, if you might be correcting your child, you give him a spank on the
Yeah.
bum, he goes to school or she goes to school and she tells her teacher
Oh,
or his
boy.
teacher that, hey, my mom beat me yesterday. It was just a spank or two.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. But when I get a call as a social worker, that is not what I see,
Yeah.
right? I come to your home to talk to you about your actions, right? And it could lead to other directions and
Yeah.
other angles that you don't want. So again, I would say even though the law allows you to do it,
Yeah.
as a mom, right, I would completely say I would discourage you from ever doing it
Yeah.
again. There are more other efficient ways of disciplining a child.
Like
But-
time out. Really? Time out. That is all.
Go to your
This
room.
is where I say, like you asked about culture. And
Yeah,
this is
again,
where
it
the
goes back to
whole-
that.
The
Yeah,
whole
cultural
cultural
Right.
thing, I think, comes into play
Mhm.
because I don't know. I feel like there should be a limit of interference into how parents raise their
I
kids.
think
Yeah.
so too.
And at the
I
same
totally
time, I
agree.
understand
And
where the law is coming
Yeah,
from,
Yeah.
right?
there's-
But the law sees things only in one direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who get violent with their kids
That's
and
true.
harm
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
I think that is where the law came into
Right.
play.
Mhm.
But now they have taken it to a different level.
Yeah.
Where you
I-
are not even supposed to send them on time out
I
or
know.
deprive them from their favorite
iPad,
toy.
What is
Really?
that? What's
How
what-
does that do
So it's time
anything?
out.
I think
Okay.
it boils down to the cultural piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a culture back home. That
Yeah.
is the culture. That is
Right.
what you do
Yeah.
to correct the child. But here, where we are, that is not a culture that is encouraged.
I
But
know.
do you know that it wasn't always like this, yeah?
No, it wasn't.
So that's the thing. It wasn't always like this, and people raised their child in that way
Right.
where they spank their kids.
And
so
even if
and
you
they
talk to people
yeah.
here, they will agree with
There are a
you
lot of-
that a lot of children are wayward today because they were not spanked.
Exactly.
and it's
No, that is true.
That is true.
I'm sorry
That
to
is
say
true.
But
And
I
me
think-
growing up, I don't regret my father
I
disciplining
don't.
me with a
I
stick.
Yeah.
I don't.
I would growing up, my mom very lenient woman, like she would rarely raise her hands on us, but the 1 or 2 times that she probably did, it really helped, right? And I'll never look at my mom like say, why did you do that
You
back then,
damaged
right?
me.
Because she did it.
Yeah.
It was the right thing to do. I understood why she
So-
did it. I learned from it. I feel like the car. I don't know. I think
Even
they
though
should
we
be-
are moving a little bit
Yeah, away from,
what,
but-
what I think is that they should reevaluate
Right.
Yeah,
the
that's
thing
the-
and
yeah.
and like look at the real reason why they
Right.
came with this law that
Right.
no spanking, right? There was violence from some parents and their kids,
Domestic violence
domestic
too,
violence, all those things. I think that is what brought this whole
Yeah.
thing. But they should reevaluate
think
it and
so.
ask
I think
themselves,
so.
have we gone past?
I
like,
would say
deviate
that
from-
this is probably a conversation that we can have
Right.
in
Another time,
a
yeah,
separate
for sure.
conversation
I
at a
think
separate
so.
time, right?
Yeah.
Because again, it's an important conversation though.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to kind of bring us back to where we need to be.
Modern
Again, we're talking about cultures and traditions in terms of parenting and raising a child or motherhood, right? I think that's how we got into that other conversation. But again, culture, values, those are things that
Yeah, they shape
kind
your-
of direct
yeah.
how that parenting or motherhood really happens, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming from some other culture and then meeting another culture and your children are in the mix, you need to like look for a balance
Mhm.
in how you bring up your children to excel in
Yeah.
where they are, but at the same time imbibing certain cultures that you think have a positive
exactly.
impact on them.
Important.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I think we'll talk about a little bit about the mental health of mothers because especially in COVID times, it is my assumption that a lot of mothers have struggled with having kids in the house every day. So how do you guys take care of your mental health?
It's bad. It's when I say it's bad, that means it's real challenging. I'll say for someone like me, right? So I would like to say I'm an outgoing person, and all these restrictions. I want the COVID to go away, but it's hard to be in this closed space where they tell you no visitors, no gatherings. You're with your baby. And my case, my spouse goes to work, right? So I'm with the baby like morning till evening, overnight, and waking up in the
24
morning.
hours.
So it's like a 24 hours routine, and you get mentally drained of just doing the same thing over and over, and you don't see people, you can't talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, you love your kids so much, but you just need that break just to go
You
out
need
there.
adult interactions.
You need that interaction, or even for the kid himself, right? You need to go out there just for the kid to see other kids. I feel like it will be challenging because when kids, they grow up, they don't see people
Yeah.
just because of the area in which we are right now, the COVID. So I feel like even for them, it's really, it's draining to me. I'll say it's been really mentally tough to me. Just the good thing is we can video call and talk to people, but that physical communication is always different. It's always different than just talking on the phone. I would say, especially as a first time parent, so it's really challenging.
Yeah, to me, I would say it's been like a difficult situation because some of my kids, they like the outdoors. Some they like their enclosure, right? So you are forced to balance the two, the two situations. One wants to do online school, the other one wants to go out there and interact with their friends. You have to like find a way to satisfy everybody. For your mental health, I would say, well, my kids have passed that stage where
They need you all the time.
they
every
need me
minute.
like
Yeah.
all the time,
So
right?
mom can have a
So
break.
I can decide for myself what I want to do to keep myself busy or to free my
Distress.
mind, distress. But with the COVID situation where there are all these restrictions, I don't like going out, but just that fact that it's in you that,
You
well,
can go
there is,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
you
you have the
know,
option of going
you
out.
don't have that option. If
Right.
you have the option, if you don't want to, you have that freedom, right? But with this situation, you don't.
Yeah.
So you just need to design a way of making yourself happy, keep yourself busy, try to help the kids as well get along with whatever they're doing, school, homework, and keeping their own mental health, because
Right.
it's tough for them as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has been the case was that during this time, of course, my wife carries the baby, gives birth, stays home for what 12 months, 18 months, and I am
And
out there building a career for myself, and she is stuck at home with kids. How do you feel about that? And what can you say about the fact that most of the time women have to have to bear this, give up their careers, their views, their future just
Yeah.
to be a mom?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm really the best person to respond to that, because I have a completely different perspective about having kids and following your career.
Mhm.
I did both, right? I was carrying a pregnancy by the time I was jumping into a PhD. I had all my 3 kids before I defended my PhD. So to me, um, there are choices you make, right? I would say if I was to choose amongst the two, I think I would have gone with family, right? I would. But at the same time, I told myself, why just
Have
stop,
one.
have one when you can? And in that situation, your husband has to be the supportive type. So if he supports you doing the two, he should be hands on 100%. Yeah.
Agreed.
So, so in my case, I want to say I had it all. But I would say women are always like the, how do I put it? They like give way for their spouses to pursue their own career while they stay at home and nurture the family. I usually say motherhood is like a 24-hour job, no leave, no transfer, no public holiday, nothing, right? But it is, most people don't value it that much. Yeah, they don't give it the importance that
That it
is
deserves,
that
right.
it deserves. So for women, for mothers, I would say hats off. Yeah.
That's a good, because from my perspective, especially thinking of when I graduated till now, so it's an interesting dynamic, because you would think that when you graduate, that you want to build up on what you studied, right? That time
Mhm.
frame, it's a short span, and so it's really challenging. It's challenging to me. It's challenging. I love being a mother, and it's a beautiful thing,
Ah,
but there's a big but there. Then you think of your career, because how do you integrate yourself back when you're back into the field? And with a career like mine, what I do, it's constantly evolving. And
mhm.
communication is not just it's evolving. So every second you spend out of the job field, you lose something.
Right.
And I feel like it's a big sacrifice that
It is.
I am taking,
Mm-hmm.
and just to see your spouse doing what they're doing and going ahead. But you love your job as well, as much as you love being a mother. You love your career, you
Mhm.
love your job. There's a reason why you did that, and I love what I studied. And but it's just looking at what just making that sacrifice. I feel like I can't wait to get back to start working. I actually miss it though. 'Cause, yeah.
They should be supported in their decisions.
You got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They should have all the support they need. If they have decided that they want to nurture their child, bring up their
Should
child
not be
by
shamed for that.
themselves, because at times it's easy for some mothers to carry their baby, put under the care of somebody else. It doesn't come that easy for some
mothers,
other
yeah.
women. So they decide, okay, I will raise my child by myself. we can go anywhere, they can interact with whoever, but I am the one raising my child
Yeah.
by myself. That 8 hours that I have to go to work and somebody else
raising my child.
is raising my child, they don't want that. You don't judge them for that. It's a decision that they make, and they should be applauded as well. If another woman decides that, oh, I can pursue my career, I can drop my child off there, it's her
It's her
own
own choice, and
decision.
she should be supported
Both
in that.
ways, which they should be applauded.
Yeah, it's not a one size fits all. It's just for people to understand that there's no perfect, there's no one way of being a mother. I don't want, there's no one way of being a mother. Everyone is entitled to do, as long as it works for them and the child.
Right.
So we should be understanding of women would decide to take different paths in terms of how to take care of their children.
Right. Exactly.
Perfect. I have a question here that is a little. It's not tricky, but it could be.
Okay.
And the question goes: so does childbearing and having a child affect your relationship? Is there a direct effect on your relationship with your partner or your husband, or however you want to put it? Because what I know, what I've heard, is that when women have kids, they pay little
Attention to
or
their
less
husbands.
attention to their husband. And some husbands or some people claim that the relationship kind of diminishes a little bit. I don't know how true that is, but I just thought I'd put it out and see what you people think.
Maybe you can tell us your own experience.
It's Mother's Day.
How
we're
has it
celebrating here.
been?
It's Mother's Day. We're not doing Father's Day yet.
Okay,
Father's Day,
right.
Father's Day.
That's true.
my relationship with my partner has kind of been interesting. It's taken a different dynamic for sure. Just trying to balance the care for ourselves and the care for the child, and that because. But I think we've been doing a very good job of understanding that it's us first before the child, and we know that he's gonna grow at one point and live, and maybe it helps us too because we're a young couple, and we like to enjoy ourselves. So we're doing that of really taking care of ourselves. At times, the weight at times we've had misunderstanding where I feel like the weight of what I'm doing with the child, it's probably a lot more than I wish, I wish that he would do a lot more, and they're trying. You understand, it's a new thing for him as well. He's trying, and he's going to, where I feel like being at home maybe kind of takes a toll on my mental health as well. So yeah, we kind of like have the back and forth of, are you doing enough for the child? Are you helping me enough? I think we have that argument. Yeah, we do have that argument. But in terms of like putting ourselves first, I think we've done a really good job of trying to balance that. And hopefully we do that long enough in the future, because we're still young in this. It's
I
just
know,
7
right?
months, right? The child is
Maybe
still growing.
Dr. Phil is a pro. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of relationship, I would say when a child comes into play, there is no doubt that child takes center stage in a household, right? Initially it was just the two of you. You had each other's attention. You talk to each other. You can do anything you want. But once a child is in the middle, that child takes the attention, like all that attention that was given to the mother or the father is like gone. Yeah, it's not 100%. I wouldn't say gone completely, but it doesn't. But it's not the same. So, but as the child grows, right, the two of you decide, you think about what is best for the child. No matter what you tell me, we always have different ideas of what we want our kids to be like, or the kind of discipline to be.
Yeah.
There is a lot that comes into play. You want to go with spanking, he wants to go with talking, and then when you spank, it annoys him. When you just keep talking and nothing is changing, it annoys the other person. You are not doing enough. There is always something that you argue about bringing up your kids. The relationship. But at the end of the day, the two of you come to an understanding that we are doing this for the best of our kid, right? So in that case, the relationship stays. It stays as it was supposed to be. And then as you grow, as the kids grow older, and then you find yourself coming back together, right? At times, my kids even tell me, go take care of your husband.
Oh yeah, they will do that.
Yeah, go take care of your husband. We can take care of ourselves. So it changes over time. But at the beginning, no matter what, it's a new thing in your family. Things change.
Right.
Yeah.
What she said is very interesting, but then I just thought of something. As long as I've seen a lot of people too that as it changes, when they decide, when they realize that it's time, the kids are all grown, it's time to be themselves, they realize that everything is lost.
Yeah.
They've grown apart. So because every time spent, that time it accumulates. Over time, the kids are growing. You're thinking that okay, you're doing it for the best interest of the child,
And you're losing
but
yourself.
then and you're losing yourself in it. And time is something that we don't really have on our side. So I don't know. I'm still new in this, but you can best tell me. But just finding that balance, because if you always have to put the kids first, I feel like
No, you don't always have to put
Yeah.
the kids first. The kid has their
Their
own
place.
yeah,
Their
their
place.
place
Okay.
in that relationship. You give the child the
What they-
attention they need. When they are still young, they depend solely
They're so
on you.
dependent, yeah.
There is no way your kid will be crying of hunger and your husband is looking for something else and you abandon. That
Nowhere,
kid
I'm
is
not.
helpless. So you need to find a balance between
True.
paying attention to the kids and giving time to your relationship. Yeah.
I there's also one thing that I wanted to bring up. It's what is it about childbearing and motherhood that people can women can't seem to let it go? Again, this is the point I'm making. When we had our first son, I was at the hospital with my wife and I went through that childbearing. It is not easy.
Yep.
You can definitely leave the hospital traumatized.
Shocked or
Right?
collapse.
And then it's like, I thought to myself, because it's like, how do I have a conversation with this woman about having another child after what I have seen? Right? So it's like, what is it about that women know the risk that is involved and everything that comes with it, but they would have a second child, a third child, a fourth, a fifth child? What are they thinking about?
Yeah. Well, I've had 3, and the first. Well, I wouldn't say I had any difficult birth, right? But it's a painful and traumatic situation.
People have died
But I
doing
can
this.
tell you, once that child gets out,
Nothing.
ask that woman to explain the kind of pain.
No
There
pain.
is no explanation.
Absolutely no pain.
There is really no explanation of the kind of pain they feel. At times you pinch somebody, you say, okay, I feel muscle pain, I feel a pinprick, or I feel. With childbirth, you don't know what that pain is. So, and then once you see this child, you feel like happy. I've bring forth somebody
I
into the
know.
world.
It's
And
magical.
it's like you get that feeling that, oh, I can do this. So why not go for a second?
I know.
No, it's just a natural thing. I think God designed it that way. I'll just close it like that.
It is because when that child comes out, from my experience, once he came out, I looked at him. I was like, "Is this real?
You're right.
Like, did I just have a child?" I didn't even think of what was going on with me, anything that was going on with me at the moment. I forgot about it, like any pain, anything. I was just looking at the child, and I was crying. I wasn't crying that I was feeling. I wasn't feeling
Yeah,
anything.
like that.
Tears of
kind
It
joy.
was
of
just
that
like
joy.
tears of
right?
joy.
Yeah.
And now when he's growing, I'm looking at him and because babies when they're young they're so cute and
I
you're
know.
like, he's growing. Do I want another one? Like just to have
Almost
yeah.
immediately you're thinking
Yeah,
about
you
having
are already
another child.
thinking
Because he's
about the
growing
other
and you're
one.
missing that stage when they're still little. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of
Oh yeah.
it's just like it's
Yeah.
natural. It just comes.
It's a natural
Yeah.
thing, and like I said, God designed
Yeah.
it that way.
Mm.
Women
Yeah.
are like God made it such that once you have it, go forth
Go.
and bear children. And
Yeah.
once they bear one, they want to have another. They are
Yeah.
so beautiful that
Exactly.
you want a repeat of the whole situation. Yeah.
Okay, so we're almost at the end of the show. We're just going to do a trivia, Mother's Day trivia question. And I want you guys to answer this question as quickly as possible, okay? So you have to be very spontaneous. So we're going to go back and forth, okay? I'm going to start with Dr. T, then I'll go to Tina. So what is your preferred Mother's Day dinner? Achu or Ero?
Arrow.
Okay. What is your preferred Mother's Day gift? Flowers or jewelry?
Jewelry.
What? We go.
Flowers.
Nobody wants it.
Oh no, we want the real thing. Things that last. Right?
Diamonds are forever. Huh?
Exactly.
Okay. What is your preferred break from mothering? To take a nap or to watch a movie?
Both.
You have to pick one.
Okay, to take a nap.
Which is celebrated more? Mother's Day or Women's Day?
Mother's Day.
So this is the true or false, okay? Nothing is truly missing until mom can't find it.
True.
Okay, you have to think about that.
No,
Take a minute.
it's nothing. I had to think about the question.
Mother's Day is celebrated on the same day worldwide.
It's false.
This is part of the song, okay? When I did sing, when I did sick, is part of the lyrics of a Petit Pays song.
No, false.
Who, you know
Prince
who?
Nico.
Good.
Please think about it. Okay. So this is the last question to both of you. Did you guys have fun?
I
I
loved
would
it.
say
It was
I
amazing.
did. Yeah, this is amazing. Good conversation and good vibes.
Good vibes.
So we're really
beautiful.
happy to have you guys here, and it was really interesting. And the very first episode, can you guys imagine? So
Can you believe that? It's an honor just to have us for the first episode. We're really grateful.
Yeah,
Thank you guys. It's been amazing.
yeah. Thank you,
Okay,
people,
before
for.
you go, I want you to think about the mothers that you know, your moms and your aunties who
Maybe we
have played
can-
the role of moms. And I want each of you to
tribute.
do a little bit, a small tribute. Take a minute or two, right? Do a tribute to any of them or all of them, mothers that have been part of your life or have been part of your journey. Call names if you have to. It's fine.
Right.
To my mom, Miss Grace Ime Oben, wonderful woman, amazing, strong, powerful. You've always been by me. You've always been with me. You raised me, basically, because when Dad was not around, it was you who was there, who took me to the hospital, who fed me. I don't know. I wouldn't be the woman I am today without you. On this Mother's Day, on this special Mother's Day, I'm just grateful for everything that you are, everything that you've made me to be. And I want to tell you I love you. I want to thank you, especially for being the woman that you are. And I promise to always make you proud. If I can be just half of the woman that you, half of the mother that you were to me, I know that I've achieved everything in this world. So happy Mother's Day, Mom, and happy Mother's Day to all my aunties who played an active role in my life in trying to raise me and in trying to take that motherly support as well in my life. So happy Mother's Day to all of you out there.
Okay. For me, I have a few that I would name. Well, my late mother, she was the best. Selfless. When I talk about selfless love, she had it all. And well, okay. And
It's fine.
my late grandmother as well, she played a vital role in my life, and I think she and my mother, they were like a good pair to raise kids. I spent most of my childhood holidays with my grandmother, and she taught me a lot. My aunt, better for a girl. She too has been a mother since my mom passed away. She has been there for me, for us, and I think she deserves all the respect that I can offer. And I think about uh, Mrs. Becky Amin. She's in Atlanta. She also played a vital role as a mother in my life. I love you all, and I wish you people have a fantastic Mother's Day.
Thank you very much.